Hi everyone, good evening and thanks very much for joining me. I hope you can all hear me. If you can, say hi and let me know that you can hear me. I'm just going to set up the live feed now on here so I can read all of your messages. And if you're watching this after the live feed, I'm really sorry you missed it, but just open the chat box so you can see us all talking, and if you have anything to any information, just let us know. So, hi Tony, how are you? Hello Jasmine. So I'm just opening my chat box now quickly. Hi Kilted Gardener. Hi Paul. Hi Nick. Oh wow, there's loads of you already. Hello all of you, and thank you very much for joining me. So this evening, over the last couple of weeks, I've been learning loads about seeds, and I'm really passionate about seeds. I'm really passionate about pumpkins, and I wanted to share all the information I've learned with you. And I wanted to kind of have a really good discussion with all of you. So obviously this is a chat that's on my channel, but this is kind of a community chat really. So please just leave lots of comments, and whatever tips you have throughout, just put them in. Whatever questions you've got as well. I've got loads to talk about tonight, and I'm hoping that I can cram it all into an hour because I know we've all got busy lives. But if you have a question, please put it in capital letters. And then hi Bill, hi Jason. But yeah, please put it in capital letters, and if I see it, I'll pick up on it. But if you know the answer to someone else's question, then please feel free just to answer that there. So, hi Ellie. Okay, so there's 22 people here now, so I just wanted to talk about kind of what I'm going to be talking about this evening, really, and just give you a quick kind of list of the agenda. I've got loads of notes written down here, and I probably am coming across really excited because this is really exciting to me. I get 1 hour to talk passionately about what I like, which is gardening, and you're all interested, so it's amazing. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about is Garden Organic, the Heritage Seed Library, why we should be growing heritage seeds, why we should, and more about the heritage seed, and how I'm joining in with a create your own squash variety. And this is for anybody in the UK, they can join in with this. So I'm so excited to talk to you about this as well. And yeah, pretty much that is what I want to talk about tonight. So firstly, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, I was looking on social media, and I kept seeing people talking about the Heritage Seed Library. So this is the seeds I was talking about in my video last week about the my goals for 2019, and basically I'd seen loads of people talking about this on kind of Instagram and stuff, and I asked kind of what it was basically, and everyone was telling me it was the Heritage Seed Library, and I'd never heard of the Heritage Seed Library whatsoever. So I did a bit of Googling, and I realised that the Heritage Seed Library was an organisation that was actually looked after by Garden Organic, and they look after lots of old varieties and heirloom varieties of seeds that you can't actually buy anymore. And it's really important that we grow these seeds because we can't commercially buy them. And that means that because we can't commercially buy them, they are at real risk of kind of becoming extinct, unfortunately. And through the Heritage Seed Library, you have to, well, you can't buy any seeds from the Heritage Seed Library. You have to be a member of the Heritage Seed Library. And when you become a member, they allow you to have 6 packs of seeds, and they give you 1 free as well. And in order for you to actually become a member, you also have to be a member of Garden Organic. Now, I'd never really heard of Garden Organic. I mean, I've heard of, organic gardening, and I think I've heard of Garden Organic before, but I didn't actually realise that it was an organisation and kind of a charity, really. So I don't know if any of you have heard of it at all. But in order for you to be able to get things from the Heritage Seed Library, you have to become a member of Garden Organic. So I became a member of Garden Organic, and they sent me through a big pack, kind of with a couple of magazines all about, you know, what they do and stuff. But they also, within their magazine, they also, there's a magazine that's just specifically all about what Garden Organic do and how you as a member can be, well, okay, sorry, Ross just said, Homestead in the Howlands, how much is the membership? Okay, the membership altogether, okay, because it's £18 for this, and I can't remember for Garden Organic, but altogether it did come to £51. So it is actually a little bit expensive. However, because it's a charity, they do lots of charity work, and all of the money does go into preserving older varieties, but they also do lots of experiments, they do lots of campaigning to help wildlife, but they also they do a lot of garden therapy sessions and stuff like that. So okay, it is, you know, I think it's about £32 to join Garden Organic, but that money is going to charity, and they also give you a card which allows you to go to quite a number of different days out. Like, for instance, I'm near the National Botanical Gardens in Wales, and you can get in free there. So to me, it's worth the money, okay, because as part of it, they give you loads of information. Hi, Glenda. Oh, hello. This is my future mother-in-law. Has popped in to say hi. So say hi to Glenda, everyone. But yeah, they've got a really, really interesting magazine. And one thing that they do within the Garden Organic is they do experiments. And as a member, I get to join in with the these experiments. So basically, I have asked to join 3 of their experiments next year, one of which is growing lentils, and they provide you with 3 different types of lentils to grow. I'm just getting really like all of these comments going up. So right, let's have a look. They also do one for boosting the population of natural helpers. So they were going to send me some flower seeds that I can grow. And there is another one which is improving the germination in round peas. So basically, they will send me 3 different peas, and then I will germinate them in 3 different ways, and then I can send the information back. So they can work out which is the best way to germinate peas, because we all know some people soak them overnight, some people, you know, put them, you know, or like scratch them a bit, don't they, and stuff like that. So it is really interesting that I can be a part of that. And then they obviously send you the Heritage Seed Library. So what type of seeds do they offer? Well, that's interesting, Nick, because I'm just here with it. So basically, they send you a catalogue, okay, and it has 21 varieties of tomato, 27 varieties of peas, 7 varieties of carrots, and 30 varieties of climbing French beans, as well as loads of other things in there. They obviously have more beans and stuff because they're a variety of bean that's, or the beans are quite easy to make sure that you self-pollinate them and then they don't cross-pollinate, so you can keep them true to seed. But it was 154 varieties, and they have 50 certified organic you know, varieties in here, so it's really good. And basically they've got, I don't know if you can see there, but different varieties, obviously it's alphabetical order, but you can get different varieties of vegetables in there. So the varieties that I chose were, let's have a look. Okay, so I decided to go for a swede called Kelper Gigantic. Now this is an old variety that I really like eating swedes, so I thought I've never grown swede ever before whatsoever, so I'm going to give that a go. The next one was Sims Corsair, which is a runner bean. Now, I did want this really big runner bean that they had that was meant to be like really long, and because I want to do some competitions next year, I was hoping to get those, but unfortunately they were out of stock of those, so I went for this runner bean. And then I went for, oh, this is a cabbage called Paddy. So it used to belong to some guy, I think it was in Ireland as well, actually, called Paddy, and he grew a big cabbage. So again, because I want to maybe grow a big cabbage to enter in the competition, I thought I'd go with that one. And then I went with Portuguese, which is a climbing French bean, and they are bright red. So the beans are bright red, and like you get the purple French beans. I'm not sure if these, when they are boiled, will turn green. I imagine they will though, but really cool red beans. And then, oh, I went for Chicago Watered Hubbard. Okay, this is the only squash they have in the seed library. So I went for that. There's 3 seeds in there though, so I'm really hopeful that I can grow that one. I always seem to kind of put loads and loads of seeds in there, and you know, they don't always germinate, or I don't keep them alive. So hopefully with 3 I can keep them together or keep them alive. Oh, Swede chips. Right, when I started doing Slimming World, when my daughter was born, we got an air fryer, and literally I make Swede chips all the time in the air fryer, but also I make beetroot chips and carrot chips, and it's absolutely lush. And the last, well, actually not the last one I went for, but the last one I chose was also a dwarf French bean called Black Cocoa. I think it's like a Mexican bean, possibly. I think probably quite a lot of beans originate from over that way of the world, but it's just a little black bean, and the reason I've gone for that is because I want to grow more beans next year to be able to dry and make chilies, you know, from scratch really. And then when you put your order in, there's a button you can tick that says, would you like a lucky dip? And my lucky dip was this one, and it is, it's called Callaloo. Now, has anybody heard of Callaloo at all? Because I'd never heard of it, and it's like a type of, not a Swede, sorry, it's a type of, what's it called? I can't remember. Oh, Paul says yes, he has. Yeah, it's a leaf, and it's a bit like, oh, it's spinachy, isn't it? But I don't know how big it gets, because the information in here was quite basic. Yeah, so you get a black Bangladeshi one, and you also have a, what? I thought that was a Jamaican. Well, this is called Nigerian. This is called Nigerian green, but I can't actually see it in this magazine, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, so is it a perennial? So it's 2.5 foot, which actually isn't that big, really, is it? I guess it's not that high off the ground. But yeah, basically they are the varieties that I went for. And what was amazing about this was I kind of like, it really kind of inspired me to read more about the Heritage Seed Library and how they save seeds and stuff. And because they grow so many varieties, and they've only got a very small number of people that actually work for Heritage Seed Library, they work on saving the seeds of the most kind of important, or the most hardest seeds to harvest the seeds from, basically. And then they enlist seed guardians. Most of the seed guardians grow all of the beans and stuff, but basically there is about 30 seed guardians that work for the Heritage Seed Library that are members, so just like anybody like you or me, and they will grow certain varieties of the seeds in order to make more, so that next year when everyone puts their order in, they've got enough stock of everything. And I think that's absolutely amazing. Now with runner beans, I've only ever kind of just saved runner beans. I've never isolated the seed to make sure it's true to seed and stuff. And I understand with if you want to make sure the seeds don't cross-pollinate, you need no beans within 800 meters of your beans. And obviously 800 meters is a very far distance. So basically, you know, I think it's amazing that they allow seed guardians to grow everything for them, and it's something that I'd be quite interested in doing in the future actually, but I think I'll give it a go for a few years, just trying to, you know, save the seeds myself. Has anybody actually kind of ever isolated runner bean seeds and cross-pollinated them, or not cross-pollinated, but pollinated them by themselves? I'm just going to try now and catch up with all of the comments, because I've just been going on because I'm really excited about this. But everyone seems to be talking about Swede chips, so hello, Freaky Great Geek. So Kelly, celeriac chips, are they that nice? Because I'm not really a fan of celeriac. So with Swede, is it the same as a beetroot? It's kind of got a couple of seeds in one? And is it one that you would usually sow direct, or do you start it off in pots? Ah, Tony, is it more of a cabbage seed then? Ah, like, okay, yeah. Ah, so I've only ever really grown cabbages a couple of times, and I've never ever used a cover, so they always got the cabbage wipe attack them, and I never ate any at all. Oh, well, maybe I'll have to try celeriac chips, because last time with celeriac, I didn't. Hi, Barbara. I didn't at all. Well, they didn't come to anything, basically. They're probably still in the garden, and they're no bigger than a conker. Yeah, cabbage white. But the thing is, we can cover the cabbages, can't we? I just never have bothered before, and wondered why I didn't get anything. Oh, okay. Well, the celeriac I probably got in like May time from the garden centre for 50p, so that's maybe why. I think a Swede is a turnip, and Liz and I were talking about this the other day. It's a turnip and a cabbage or something like that mixed, but I can't remember. So, but yes, I'm really excited that you know, I've joined the Heritage Seed Library, and if, you know, any of you are inspired, that would be amazing. Also, when I was kind of looking at all their seed guardians, I started thinking about other people that had seed libraries, because you've got, I think there's a seed library in Ireland, and there's a few seed libraries all around. And when I was looking at their seed guardians, there was one in Wales, and he had his own website. So I started looking on his website, and he has loads of varieties himself of rare seeds, and he obviously makes the seeds for the Heritage Seed Library as well. And he had a runner bean called Brecon Black, and obviously I live just on the edge of the Brecon Beacons, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. So I got in contact with him, and I said, you know, how can I get some of your seeds? I really want to have some of your seeds. And he said, send me, you know, your address, and he would send me some. So in the post, just after Christmas, so a late Christmas present. Oh, hi Dave. A late Christmas present was these Brecon Black runner beans. And oh yeah, this was originally held by the Irish seed savers, and this Welsh heirloom is one of a number of black seeded varieties from South Wales. So I have got some completely black runner beans, or, you know, Brecon Black. So yeah, they originally came from around here, and obviously black being like you know, coal from the, you know, area as well is amazing. So he does also have another one, but he doesn't have enough to share with me. So this, I can't wait. Like I said, I already thought that I wanted to grow as many beans as I could this year to dry, and these are big black ones, and I've never seen, like, you get butter beans or Greek gigantes, but I've never seen a completely big black bean. Okay, so has anybody seen beans, like runner beans that are completely black before? Right, I'm going to try and catch up now with some of these comments. Tony, are you saying you have Brecon black, what are they called? Brecon black beans? Tony, if you do say you've already got these beans, I'm going to cry, because I was really excited and I thought I was really lucky with having these beans. But what I'm going to do though is try, like I said, I really want to, you know, save the seed from these next year, and hopefully make sure they don't cross-pollinate. So, and obviously there's a number of ways with beans that you can make sure they don't cross-pollinate, one of which is to grow them in a greenhouse and grow them very early, so the chance of them crossing are quite short or quite small, but also making sure the ones right in the middle are the ones that you take the seed from, so they're less likely to have been cross-pollinated as well. But I have seen another way, which is putting a bag over a load of the flowers and then, you know, using a paintbrush. So okay, well, they might, where did you get that variety from? Have you just kept saving the seeds of that one, Tony? But yeah, also with Liz, I know she is going to be, well, she has left them in the ground and is hoping her beans come back next year. So I'm really hopeful they do, because that would be a really good way of, you know, having another vegetable that's already growing every year and you don't have to worry about planting the seeds. But he also in his little envelope, his little present to me, he sent me a Queensland blue, which is it was saved, this seed was saved in 2015. So what is the best way with seeds to actually make sure, with pumpkin seeds, to make sure that they're going to be viable for that long? Because when I've saved them that long ago, they haven't germinated. But yeah, this is another heirloom variety. And then I have another one here, which is called Table Queen. So I'm so excited to have another 2 varieties of heirloom squash to grow next year. So that's pretty good. Also with the Garden Organic, in their magazine, they have seed swap information. So I don't know about you, but I've never been to a seed swap before, and I've never really saved that many seeds apart from like runner beans and pumpkins. But with pumpkins, I let them cross-pollinate, so I didn't necessarily always, you know, grow them again next year and stuff like that. But with this magazine, they tell you at the back of their Heritage Seed Library, there are they give you all of their seed swaps. Because basically with the Heritage Seed, when they've got quite old seed that they don't want anymore, they donate them to all of the seed swaps. And basically, I was having a look through here, and there is one in Carmarthen, and there is also one in Bristol, and there's one in Cardiff, and I'm going to be going to these shortly. But I'd kind of heard of seed swaps before. Obviously, we've all heard of seed swaps, but I'd never really kind of looked at the date and when they were. But we are right at the beginning of the season now. So if you go on the, you don't need to be a member, but if you go on the Garden Organic website, you can look up seed swaps locally. And I really would say, definitely go to a seed swap. I think Liz and I are going to be going to the Cardiff and the Bristol one. So if you're there, that'd be great. We say hi and stuff. And yeah, I'm going to be going to the Carmarthen one. Hi, Jimmy. So yeah, that was another thing. And also, I don't know if you are a member of a local gardening group. I'm a member of a gardening group locally. But if you go on the Garden Organic website as well, it will give you all of the locations of, well, your most local gardening group, which is great. What date was Cardiff? Okay. So, oh, potato days too. Okay, right. So, the Cardiff one is the 23rd of February. So that's quite late, really, isn't it? So 23rd of February, and it's free to get in. And there is there is an email address here as well. You can contact them. But this is on the actual website. Oh, hi, Howard. That is my future father-in-law. When did you come on, Howard? Hello. And yeah, so, and there's obviously the Bristol one, which is quite a big one, I understand. But although I lived in Bristol my whole life, I never went to it. There is one in Carmarthen though, and Bristol, Tony. So I don't know if you would want to travel that far, but I'm just really, any in Somerset, right? Let's have a look. Well, Kelly, there's one in Bristol. Let's have a look. Oh, talking about the wedding, it's booked. I already knew where I wanted to get married, so I'm probably going to sound like a bridezilla here, but I knew where I wanted to get married and I knew when I wanted to get married. So basically over on New Year's Day, I think it was, New Year's Day, we went in and booked it because I was like, that is where I want to go. No one is going to get in my way. I'm going to get married in that castle. So yes, it's booked and I've got 12 months to organise it. So anyway, sorry, I'm looking up for Kelly in hi, Wholesome Root. Oh, hi, Rose. Sorry, Kelly. I'll have a look and then I'll get back to you on this because it is on here somewhere, I'm sure. But yeah, if you go on their website, it's got all of that information on there, so you can go and have a look and find a local seed swap, because you know it's great having the online community and we all know each other, get on with each other, we all learn from each other, but how cool will it be to actually go and make relationships with other people that are interested in gardening as well? Because I know we have friends at the allotment. I mean, I don't actually have friends at the allotment because whenever I go, you know, I never really seem to see anyone. But being able to go to a seed swap is a really great way to be able to like network with people. And do you know what? It's a really amazing way because I've got all of these, oh, they're going to fly. I've got all of these Jack B. Little pumpkins, okay, that I wasn't going to save the seeds from because I'd obviously let them cross-pollinate. But when I was looking up about pumpkins the other day, there's 4 types of pumpkin, okay, 2 of which are called Peppo and Maxima, okay, and they do not cross with each other. And the only Peppo that I grew last year was these Jack B. Little. So this is the seed from 2 of those small Jack B. Littles, and I have about 20 left. So I am going to be taking these to seed swaps to swap with other people, and hopefully next year I can go to other seed swaps and I'll have more of these heritage seeds that I have kept the seeds from, and especially the squash, and be able to swap them with people, which is really, really amazing. I've also got some Chioggia seed. Chioggia is Marina di, oh, these are going to fly now. But I've got these Marina di Chioggia seeds as well. And that's just from 1 pumpkin. Now, they may have cross-pollinated because all of the other varieties I do have are Maxima, but this one I knew was isolated to a certain part of the garden and there wasn't anything locally to that. But obviously there is still a high risk that they could have cross-pollinated. But they were a really lovely, tasty pumpkin that we had the other day. So definitely going to try and grow those again. Yeah, basically, you've obviously got, there are 4 varieties, but the only ones I could really find that related to mine were the Maxima and the Peppo. So in the future, maybe, you know, obviously if you self-pollinate them, you know it's going to be true to seed. But you might want to grow, you know, a Peppo next to a Maxima and put them in other places, so there's less of a chance as well. So, oh, thanks, Ross. If you could give this a thumbs up, that would be absolutely amazing. Also, while I'm talking about Ross, he is doing a live chat tomorrow at 8 o'clock on his channel. So if you click just next to his name and there's like 3 dots, click on there. If you're not subscribed to his channel already, press that subscribe button and ring the bell so you'll be notified tomorrow when his video is going live. Because yeah, he's got some interesting stuff to talk about tomorrow and I can't wait for that. So I'm going to be there, so don't miss out. Also, talking about all the seed swaps and the fact that I'm wanting to go to seed swaps, I'm also interested in swapping seeds, you know, with the YouTube community. And I was talking to Jasmine earlier in the week and she has a few ideas up her sleeve regards to seed swaps. So if you are not already subscribed to her, click on her and then you can press subscribe and ring the bell for the video to come up next week. So, or possibly not next week, but at some stage. And while we're talking about live chats, tomorrow, it is tomorrow, I think. Let me check. Liz, tomorrow you are doing a live chat with Hugh at 2 o'clock. Is that correct? Because it's not Sunday, is it? It is tomorrow. So if you're not already, yes, so tomorrow at 2 o'clock, Liz is got Hugh from Hugh's Nursery on her channel. So you must all know who Hugh is, and they're doing a Q&A session. And to be honest, if you have a question for Hugh or Liz tomorrow on the live chat, write question now and your question, and they will possibly answer it tomorrow. So, Nick, you've got sunflower seeds that you could swap. Are they from your big one that you grew last year? Because they were like mega ones. Did you get specific special seeds for those? Also, it is true, isn't it? In America, some states, it's actually illegal, is it, to save seed? Okay, if you have a question for them, ask it because they can answer it even if you can't watch the live chat, and then you can get the answer later. Oh, yes, Homestead in the Highlands. You can say you're going live later. That's no problem. What time? Yeah, it's illegal to save water in some states. I mean, I can totally understand why, but it's just crazy, isn't it? Because I guess if all you're doing is watering the plants with it, it's not like that water's not going to go back into the earth, is it? I think, Liz, have you had enough questions or are you after more? I asked 2 questions, so hopefully we'll get an answer to those tomorrow. Okay, so, okay, that's really interesting. But this is actually an interesting thing. Heirloom and heritage seeds. Now, I'm assuming everyone knows what an heirloom seed is, or a heritage seed. But if you don't know, I will quickly just say now, an heirloom seed is something that has been handed down through your family, like an heirloom bit of jewellery or a chair or something. A chair? Would you pass down a chair as an heirloom or whatever, you know? But I was wondering this the other day, when you get given, like the Heritage Seed Library get given seeds that are heirloom varieties that their great granny you know, always grew every year. And I think it was my mum said, well, how do you know that that is actually a heritage seed? How do you know it's not just one that they've grown in the garden last year and given in? And with the Heritage Seed Library, what they do is they make sure they grow it for a few years before they actually give it to the public, because they can then make sure it does grow true to seed. Sorry, I'm just... Oh, hi Mama Grows, or hi Kathleen. The thing is, I can kind of understand though why some places do stop you from collecting it, because say for instance, you know, where you have droughts and stuff, surely they need to put things in place to stop it. You know, it's one of those blanket bans that, you know, stops people collecting a whole swimming pool amount of water, rather than just in the garden that has a few buckets, or you know, what they called water butts or something. I just assume it's just stopping people from hoarding big amounts of water where, you know, water is scarce. Well, yeah, that is true. That is true. But here I'm not on a water meter. But I didn't really, in Wales, you don't actually really need to worry about water in the garden that much, apart from this year, which was quite hot, wasn't it? Also, with talking about seeds and stuff, how many of you actually have kept a certain variety of seed going for a number of years? Do I think the hot weather will continue this year? Well, I would hope so. If you are a strong kind of believer in global warming, we are meant to be getting hotter summers or hotter seasons every year. Um, but I think I have no idea really. It would be nice if we do have a really hot summer again, but not possibly quite as hot as we had before, because I put my pumpkins on my wall and watered them too much, and there was a crack. So, but I have planned though that I'm not actually going away the whole of the summer. Oh wow, 5 years, that's really good. Ross, if you grew an apple from a pip and it's still growing strong about 25 years later, is that in a pot or is it in the ground? Or is it wherever you grew it and planted it when you did? Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with the. Do you know what? I've never actually really ever grown enough potatoes to save them. So that is kind of one thing that I'm gonna be trying to do more. It's like also with self-sufficient on a particular type of veg. I'm just planning on starting with one kind of veg a year and getting better and better. And then in 10 years' time, I can sit here and on another live chat and tell you about everything that I've sustained for 10 years. Yeah, Tony, you grow that massive potato, don't you? Or you're trying to grow the biggest potato, biggest world record potato. Okay, so anyway, I think I'm kind of caught up with all of the chat now, and I want to talk to you about growing my own squash variety. Okay, so I know with Paul, he did a thing a little while ago with his cheeky prince. So his Uchiki Curie and his Crown Prince crossed, and he got a really nice little variety called the Cheeky Prince. And he offered out, I think they've all gone now, but he offered out some seeds that he had for all of us to have a go at growing, and that was really cool. And so was the fact that Hugh was doing a collaboration with growing apples at the moment and stuff. And it kind of, I think I've had these about a month now, so I can't remember if this came before Paul did that giveaway or not. But, oh, they're about to be sent out. I'm so excited by this. But anyway, going back on to, you know, being excited about the Heritage Seed Library and about becoming a seed guardian one day. And in my head, you know, I'm a bit of a dreamer. So in my head, I already was going to have this big, massive field full of all these heritage seeds and become a guardian and or have all this time that I don't have. But I love pumpkins. So I was on the Real Seed website, and they have loads of squash seeds, and they're all heritage and they're all heirloom varieties. So yeah, they're not commercial ones. But I was just having a look at all of the different ones, and I was like, wow, there is a grow your own variety of squash. So basically, I've got, I think there's 12 seeds in here, you can see. And basically, there was a guy, I'm not sure what his name was, but he went to a squash festival in France, okay? And he saw this really wicked looking squash. It was all wonky in a different colour, and he was like, there's something's gone wrong with that squash. And he thought, I'm going to save this squash. So he saved he took the squash home, he ate the squash, and it tasted quite nice. And when he planted this is out of one squash, okay? I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping it didn't cross-pollinate, but pretend this is the seeds from this guy's amazing, cool, funky squash. Okay, so he grew like 20 of these the next year, and every single squash or pumpkin was completely different. Okay, so it wasn't just like the cheeky prints. It was like a red, a blue, a green. Obviously, it wasn't all those colours, but it was, well, it probably was red and green and maybe orange. But yeah, he basically got 20 or 30 completely different pumpkins. And he was just like, wow, this is cool. Because you would have thought that funky looking pumpkin would have exactly the same seed in and it would all produce the same thing. But no. And that got me really excited. And what he did then was he tasted each pumpkin, wrote notes about the pumpkin, saved the seeds from each pumpkin. And I think as well, when the pumpkins started to grow, he did self-pollinate them. So they all were self-pollinated as well. And then he basically created his own pumpkin. But because he was so inspired by this, he has created this, it's like a breeding population. So this is going to give me 10 different varieties, I think, or 12. And what I need to do this year is grow all of them. Okay, and when they get their female plants or female flowers, I'm going to cross them, the male flower into the female flower from each one, so they will be true. And then after that, okay, whichever one you choose as your favourite, you need to save the seeds and then grow 10 from that one next year. And then you need to choose which is the one that looked most like that variety that you chose to begin with. And then within 2 years, on the 3rd year of doing that, you will then have a pretty much, it's not stable, but it won't have any variations. So I think in the first generation, 1 in 4 will be different, and then it's 1 in 8 variants, and then up to 1 in 64, which is when it's 6 years old, and you can have a, very stable variety then. But this just got me thinking, do you know what? I'm just so excited about this. So I might come across as being a mad scientist, but this is amazing. Now, I probably haven't explained it very well because I did write the notes down here. So basically, yeah, in the 2nd year, you plant 10 seeds again. And then after 3 years, there should be no variation. Is this how zombie movies start? Right. But yeah, and then after the 6th year, you have your own brand new variety of squash. Okay, so I'm going to be doing this next year, and I'll probably do like a video a month, or oh God, that'd be too much, wouldn't it? A video a month on my pumpkin variety. But I'm going to be doing this. If you live in the UK, you can also get these seeds from Real Seed. I think they had 61 in stock, and it will be amazing if you join in as well, because that is great. So yes, and I think that was everything covered on the agenda for what I wanted to talk about this evening. So, have I inspired anybody to grow or save any seed, or have a go with this pumpkin growing thing? I'm really looking forward though to getting the pumpkins from, oh, thank you very much, Liz. But I am also really, oh, good. But yeah, what are you inspired to do? Thank you very much, Kathleen. But yes, I'm just really excited by it, and I really want to next year, you know, share as many seeds with other people as I can, because that'd be great. And I can't wait for this cheeky prince, because I think everybody that is getting any of Paul's pumpkins that has a channel, we do obviously need to make sure we film and see if it's the same as that guy that started with those ones and got different ones, because wouldn't it be great if we had all different types? Honestly, Kelly, getting the kids involved is amazing, but also learning about the Maxima and the Peppo and stuff like that. I really want to, in the future, have a go at like cross-pollinating and seeing what happens. Yeah, lots more Phils. Is Phil still around, Liz? Because I haven't seen him for a while. Yes, it would be amazing if they did grow into carved pumpkins. However, have you seen that you can get like these cases that go around watermelons and stuff? You could actually make a case that had the pumpkin's face on, so it grew. Yes, Paul, we're all going to need to get 3 allotments each, because I've already thought that I'm going to put myself on the allotment waiting list. And if you're familiar with my garden, you go up the cracked wall steps and there's a bit of grass. Then you go up some more steps, then there's grass, and then you go up some more steps, and then there's like that pumpkin-y patch area. Well, I thought, you know what? I am sick of getting that lawnmower up there, and I don't really sit on the grass. And you get a lot of sun in that area. So what I thought is, who needs grass when you are growing your own variety of pumpkin? Is an allotment a standard size in the UK? Well, mine isn't, because it's quite small, and I don't know with Tony's seems quite big, but Ross's seems massive, so I don't really know what the exact. Well, with that, Tony, my allotment, everyone seems to have 2, and it's a really small plot, so I'm going to ask if I can go on the waiting list, and I'm sure they'll be able to tell me. See, 430 square metres. I think mine's like 7 by 6, which is like 52, I think. Is 7 times 6 52? But yeah, mine's 52 square metres, so yeah, it is a big difference, isn't it? Sorry, I'm being rude now. I'm just trying to catch up with all of the... Yeah, Liz, that's interesting, because the one that I'm on is, it was on like brownfield, so I don't know if, not brownfield, that's contaminated, isn't it? But I think it's council owned, but I'm not sure, because I haven't even seen a contract yet, so I need to get one. I was hoping that there was going to be a meeting this year, which I was going to be going to, just to really meet other people as well, actually. But when I lived in Bristol, my allotment, I had a half plot, and that was really big, so... But where my allotment is, it's on quite a small piece of land, so obviously they do need to be a bit smaller so they can, you know, provide more. Oh no, Paul, so you can't even have one each? But has anyone heard actually that, oh, there you go, Lloyd is in the house. A Victorian, I was just about to say, a Victorian house was the size of an allotment. Wow, this is a full house. If my mum and stepdad were here, this would be like family edition of Erica's Little Welsh Garden. Sorry, I've gone really quiet, haven't I? I'm just trying to catch up with the conversation. But also, while I'm talking about all of these seeds, if anyone is interested in a Jack Be Little or growing them next year, one plant provided me with 20, and you don't even have to peel them, you literally chop them up and then cook them. If anyone is interested in growing any of these, I'm going to have a load. So if you're interested in some and you want to cover postage, because I'm not a millionaire, send me a message in Erica's Little Welsh Garden and I can arrange to get you some sent. Or if you want to swap, totally happy to swap. If you have a variety that you think I like to grow, I would love to swap with you as well. Yes, please give me a thumbs up. Has it been really cold where you are? The reason I'm asking this right now is I'm actually really cold in here, but my feet are burning because this is Lloyd's office and he's got a UV heater on the floor and my feet are burning, but the rest of my body is freezing. So, oh, would you like to swap with lavender seeds? Why not? I'd have to go grow some lavender. I've always killed lavender. If you message me on Erica's Little Welsh Garden on Facebook or Erica's Little Welsh Garden on Instagram, send me a message and I can organise that. It is freezing outside. It's January and February in my house are the coldest months of the year. Last year we had the heating on pretty much full blast all day, and we had the fire in the lounge going and the fire or the stove in the kitchen, and we haven't actually chopped enough firewood. So Lloyd, I hope that's what you're doing tomorrow when I'm back from being out getting some firewood chopped. Oh, it's an infrared heater. Well, it's flipping burning my feet anyway in here. So, pears inside bottles. When I was a kid, Karina, my grandpa had like this little wine area, or like, what's it called? A little area of all the alcohol in. And we used to like open the bottles and sniff them. And he had a bottle with a pear in it. And I never understood how the pear got in there. Yeah, we are happy when things get done when we ask them to be done. Yes, I'll be on chart. I do need to do some gardening tomorrow as well, Lloyd. So we'll have to talk about the allocation of childcare tomorrow. That's the thing, actually, with having a young baby. Lloyd has got loads of projects. Okay, he's building a shed. He is probably got loads of electronic things he wants to do. He's got to insulate under the floor in the lounge and cut firewood. There are loads of trees that we need to cut down, but then also I've got loads of gardening to do as well. And having a young child is so hard because you're both kind of really like not fighting, but you're both need to do stuff, and it's quite hard sometimes. And sometimes I do envy people that have older children, because my son Stan, he's 7, so he's at the age now where I can go off and do gardening, or Lloyd could do DIY, and he's not going to have an accident or something, because would just chill out playing with Lego or something. But yeah, it's quite hard. And who actually is up the allotment tomorrow, or are we going to give it a break now for? Well, Lloyd, I am talking about seeds, and this is on my live chat, and you get sick enough of me talking to you about seeds. So this is my vent of talking about seeds with people. How old are your children, actually, Tony? Are they your youngest? Is he like 7 as well? Oh, Sunday is the allotment day. Is it going to be a really hard frosty ground though on Sunday? Oh, 8 and 9. Oh, and 15. Ah, with that compost, Paul, is that like a couple of years old or is it quite fresh? I was having a look at doing some um, no dig beds at my allotment, and I was looking online at getting some organic compost, and I found for a ton bag, the cheapest I found was £70, and I thought that was quite cheap, but I don't know how that compares with where people get. That's not manure though. That's just compost. Ah, 2 years. There's a lady that doesn't live too far from us that has a pony, and she said that I could have some manure, but she's really nice, but she's a bit scary at the same time, so I don't really want to go up there and get some. Oh, that's interesting. Get lion manure. Ah, do you Jasmine, get compost bought in like that, or do you get big bags? I know what you mean about a no dig bed, put anything in it, Ross, but I did this thing on the first day of autumn, which was the 23rd of September, and I planted loads of onions, and I took that compost from the Dalek composter, and I put it down, and I put my onions in it, and then everyone knows that I moan for about a month after that, or probably 2 months. And the only reason I've stopped moaning about it is because I just haven't looked at those onions anymore because they're full of weeds. Yeah, I mean, when I say I've seen it for £71 and, that seems good to me, I actually don't like spending money either, and I do not have £71 spare. But it just made me think, well, actually, sometimes you might buy bags of the odd compost here and there for like £7 or something. Is it just cheaper to buy it in a big bunch, Oh, so you've got a video on filling a raised bed for free, Ross. That's pretty cool. I will have to have a look at that then, because I've not seen that video. But also, we are kind of coming up to the hour, and I have been chatting for an hour, and I don't only like to do a live chat for an hour because we've all got lives and stuff. But has anybody got any questions before we do go tonight? Ah, and my garden, I'll have to have a look then. I mean, I am hoping I've got enough room here that I can make big compost heaps. But I also want to have a go at straw bale gardening as well next year. So I don't know if anyone's done that before. But I need to read up more about it, but I think I'm going to give it a go. And where I grow my pumpkins, where I'm going to be taking up the lawn to put pumpkins, I am going to have a go at that. So, bye, Jimmy. Yeah, he did a video about straw bale potatoes, but that's like using it as a mulch, isn't it, where you pull it apart? But what I've seen is you actually have a whole straw bale, and so I don't know how big a straw bale is, I don't know how big it is, but you when you plant into it, I think this is what I think, because I've only kind of half looked into it, but you kind of make a little bit of a gap and you put some soil in that, and then you plant into it, and then as it kind of rots down, the plant gets nutrients from it. That's what I think it is all about, but I could be wrong. So when do I start my onion seeds? Usually about this time of year, but I've not started them yet. yeah, I did ask a question about that, so we have to have a look at it basically. So yes. Oh, what's this? Somebody has. I can see there's a comment about it, but I can't see. Somebody, sorry, I'm trying to catch up with the. Ah, sorry, Rachel, you said, yeah, you don't understand how bell gardening can actually work. Well, nor do I, but it does apparently work because there's loads of videos about it and stuff. So I'm going to have a look into it. Yes, celeriac does need to be planted now. Apparently, Tony said in January it should be planted. Bye, Paul. Have a lovely weekend too. Yeah, I'm not sure how much straw bales cost here actually, Kathleen, because I got the idea when I was in the local chicken feed shop, which is also like a horse feed, pig feed, everything agricultural feed. Bye, Richard. Bye, Nick. But basically, it is. Yeah, I heard them talking about a bale delivery, so I didn't know how much. Oh, £3. Okay. So bye, Nick. So what I do is I will find out next time I go to the feed shop and find out, but they also do delivery, so it might be a little bit more expensive because they do delivery, but it's not too far from my allotment. Oh, that is interesting actually, about the fact that last year was a really hot year, wasn't it? I wonder then, Ellie, if yours are £4, mine are probably going to be £4 as well, because I know we're not too far from each other, are we? So yeah, but it's something definitely to have a look at. So I know people do compost heaps out of it, and like Liz said, she's going to talk about it tomorrow. So let's head over to her live chat tomorrow at 2 and have a look. And also remember tomorrow that Ross is live at 8 p.m. as well. So there you go. If I've missed any questions from anybody this evening, what I'll do is I'll go back and I will go through them next Friday when I do a live chat next Friday at 9. But I'm going to head off now because I think we have kind of reached the end of the chat tonight. And yeah, I need to have a drink because I've been passionately talking too much about seeds. So thanks very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed the chat today. And if you're watching back on the replay, thanks very much for watching. Take care. Bye.